Also, if you're just moving here cold into town, you know, some people might have some friends that are already here, you know, and that can help with your network. If you don't, then it's kind of a proof is in the pudding town. You know, we want to hear people. You know, if, you know, there's a saying here that people say that, like, Nashville's like a 5-year town or it's a 10-year town. I don't know if I agree with that, because I worked here pretty much, you know, as soon as I got here, I started working a little bit, you know, through having some connections and stuff. But I would still go down to the Gulf Coast and make the majority of my money to pay my rent and stuff and come back. So I was doing that until I didn't have to. Maybe the first year or 6 months, 8 months I was here. But with that being said, you know, you just have to get out and play. And why I don't think maybe this is a 5 or 10-year town anymore is because if somebody like Vince Gill or somebody is out, you know, and they're at a club and they hear somebody that's really great, you know, they might want to hire them right then on the spot, you know, or if somebody says, hey man, this friend of mine moved into town, he used to play bass on Saturday Night Live and he's a New York cat, but he just moved to Nashville. It's like, hey man, let's hire him, let's get him on something, you know. So there's things like that you don't always have to bust your ass here for 5 or 10 years. Those experiences are happening all the time, where if we hear somebody that we really, really like, then hey, they're in, man. Let's call them. Let's start using them on sessions. Let's use them on gigs, you know. So that's kind of how I look at some of that. And then the next thing is just, you know, you got to be able to hang. You got to have a good attitude. I mean, we all can get bitter and curmudgeon-y and stuff like that, you know, with the music business. It's part of being creative and it's the struggle and all that, but you know, it can happen. But you know, basically have to be a pretty good hang, you know, have a good attitude, show up on time, you know, be sober, drug free for the most part or whatever. I mean, you know, things like that. I mean, those are pretty much life skills that are going to get you through no matter what job you have. I mean, that's pretty much, to me, just kind of common sense of building any great reputation in any career. So a lot of the things that go into having a successful music career will just work in daily life no matter what you're doing. I mean, you know, show up on time, you know, have a great attitude, have a good work ethic, really care, you know, make sure your gear is in great shape, make sure your guitars play in tune. You know, knowing how to read a Nashville number system chart is a great thing. If you're thinking about moving here, do some homework on that first. You know, it's a song town, so you really have to know how to serve the song when you go into the studio for the first time. Don't invite anybody else. Don't talk a lot, but also don't be the quietest person sitting in the corner either. There's a fine balance of kind of knowing that hang in the studio and on a bus and on a tour. So, and those things you just learn with experience. I mean, playing in clubs my whole life and then moving here, I kind of, you know, I had some experience doing that, and then I kind of learned how to kind of hang in the studio. But, you know, those are just some kind of life skills that kind of will carry you through no matter what you do in your whole life.